Today we're going to talk about the worst bans or unbans by Wizards of the Coast for Magic the Gathering. Now, my elected worst ban of all time, I saw it in real time, was Agent of Treachery in the historic format for MTG Arena. Did anyone see this guy do anything wrong? I was there. It was best of one. And you know what the metagame was full of? The metagame was full of Winota. You play against Winota, get obliterated. Play against another Winota, get obliterated. Winota was destroying the format. Super unfun. The stupid Angrath Marauders that it would put into play just completely obliterated you. So Wizards of the Coast on Twitter says, all right, we're going to do something. Historic's going to have some banning and restricted announcement. And what comes up on that banning and restricted announcement? They banned this guy. This guy didn't even do anything. I didn't even see this thing see play. Some people said that some of the Winota decks played it. Okay, ban Winota instead. Even to this day, this guy is still banned in historic, and I swear I don't know if anyone out there can tell me what contribution it made to the devastation of historic. I'd like to hear it. Now, I understand that this guy apparently was tearing up standard at the time, and they were like, well, if it's blowing up standard and destroying everything there, then probably it's doing something in historic. But anyway, it wasn't doing anything. Now, eventually they did get around to banning Winota, and Winota is still banned in this format, but they didn't go about unbanning Agent of Treachery. Anyway, I thought it was a funny, yet I think one of the most ridiculous bans of all time. But this is going to be a very opinion-based video. It's not technically nothing's the worst. Some people might say Iona was the worst ban in Command, and some people would have said no, it was a perfectly fair ban in Commander. Agent is ridiculous. I absolutely love it. Maybe you got it banned. Maybe you got Agent of Treachery banned. It's funny when they make a card like that, people find the best uses. Why so late? We do this now, Beanpot. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Adjust your clocks and make sure that pot of coffee is still on hot. Got to keep that. We have a new time for Coffee and MTG from here on here out. What time is this? I see no. I have all the coffee. All right. Winota, shoplifter extraordinaire. Huh? I don't know. Maybe I don't get the reference. Winota was only one deck of several that abused Agent. I played a lot of Historic at the time. I didn't see any Agent. And even if you did say Agent was an abused card, from my perspective, at least in Best of One of Historic, Winota was above and beyond way worse. Above and beyond. Like, even if you put Agent in the Winota deck, that didn't make... Taking out Agent of Treachery didn't make Winota any weaker. Like, barely. And of course, they did ban Winota later. So, this was a very bad shot, bad call on banning the Agent of Treachery, in my opinion. Some people have cold coffee, don't worry. Hey, I don't know if the rest of you know, but I'm a huge connoisseur of cold coffee. I basically drink it ice cold. I'm a sipper, as they would say. I'm the sipper. Agent plus Fable of the Mirror? Fable of the... You mean Fable of the Mirror Breaker? I mean, this card didn't come out until recently. So what, nobody has any opinions on what are the cards that got banned? You're all super happy with the ban list? Is that what you're all telling me? No one? Okay, agree on Meat Hook. It wasn't a good ban. Didn't they try to curve Meat Hook Massacre? You're talking about for standard, right? So we got a standard ban on the Meat Hook Massacre. So what would you do? So that's a problem. The Meat Hook Massacre was, as far as I understood, I don't know standard super well. They banned it to, like, just weaken the mono black decks, because the whole format was mono black. Would you got... Oh, was it like a way of... Because they might have had the choice between this and Shield Dread, right? I don't know. I don't know what the standard ban cards look like. Standard doesn't need Meat Hook and Shield Dread in the same meta. Okay, so they need to get rid of one. And they just chose the Meat Hook Massacre. They won't touch the Shield Dread, is what you're telling me. They won't touch the darling of their set, the picture that's on all the packs. That's like having plot armor. So you look at Shield Dread. Let's look at Shield Dread for a second. Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Not banned anywhere. Why? Because I think Sheoldred is a picture on the packs. When your picture is on the packs, on the booster boxes, on the posters, you have plot armor. That is plot armor safety. Okay, Liquid Soulfly on the Wild nacatl. That was wild. I actually had to look up why they banned Wild nacatl. They did it for diversity. Okay, so get this, people. Get this. Hear this. For a green 1/1 that gets +1/+1 if you have a mountain, and an additional +1/+1 if you control plains. This card was banned in Modern. Modern! One of the more powerful formats in all of Magic the Gathering. This was, at best, a 1-mana 3/3, which pales in power level compared to a lot of the stuff we have in this modern day. But this card literally was banned. But actually, I had to look up into the history. It was banned for diversity. Like, there was just apparently too many zoo decks, and this card just made all those decks. And I guess, yeah, after banning it, like, hey, no one wanted to play zoo anymore because there weren't any good 1-drops. But, you know, after they printed so many 1-drops and better cards, they're like, screw it, let's just unban the Wild nacatl. Probably they didn't need, I don't know. Maybe they didn't need to do that. Wizards of the Coast has this thing where they, I mean, is it really so fun that you go to F&M and there's like a million zoo decks? So they try to increase diversity by banning this card. It's very similar, probably reasoning to like banning the Meat Hook Massacre. Maybe you don't have to ban this card, but if you don't, everyone's gonna be playing mono black decks, right? Everyone's gonna be playing those mono black decks. I want a Wild nacatl Kitten, like Kitten nacatl. I want Wild Kitten, Wild Feral Cat. Gets, I don't know, +1/+1 for all the other card types. Approaching Calamity wants Tinker unbanned. What, in what format? What, Legacy? That sounds insane. Okay, Pedgeman, I feel like Field of the Dead ban in in Standard was a bad. Who calls things Type 2 anymore? Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead. I feel like Field of the Dead ban in Standard was a bad idea because it opened the way for the whole Simic Flash and Eco decks. I mean Oko, Field, or the Elko decks. Anyway, Field of the Dead decks at least were do nothing for 4 turns, and you could play around them. Well, okay, so Field of the Dead enters the battlefield tapped, adds a generic mana, but whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Every deck with Field of the Dead in it comes down to this, like, can you kill your opponent before they start stabilizing with zombies? Because once the zombies come out, you can't deal with anything. It's like, it's just game over, GG. So if you don't mind that environment, which is perfectly fine, I guess, then you could have Field of the Dead unbanned. But it's actually been banned in every other format for very similar reasons. Pioneer, Modern, Explorer. It really brings down the game to, like, you're gonna have those like slower, clunkier decks, Field of the Dead, and then you're gonna have these super fast decks that have to race you before you get your Field of the Dead online. Field of the Dead means all the other decks have to pack land hate, and even then it's used in combo and wins on the spot. And sometimes that like removal doesn't even work very well. I don't know, in Standard, did they have hate for Field of the Dead at the time? I don't even think they had what was it called? The card. What is the card called? Field, not of the Dead. Field of Ruin. Field of the Dead, Field of Ruin. I don't think this was in the same format at the time. So they're like, this card just went completely unopposed. With these cards, sometimes maybe they should just legalize some answer to like help the format. Let's just legalize Ghost Quarter or something. Oh, then it just didn't matter. It just didn't matter. You get your Field of the Deads online, you're just doomed and dead. Unban Yawgmoth's Bargain in EDH. Hold on, no, so you don't like its banning. Yawgmoth's Bargain. You don't think this was a fair banning? You could just draw cards. You have 40 life, for crying out loud. It's banned in Legacy and you only have 20 life. I will admit, it's It's a bit weird to have Necropotence legal, but this one is not legal. Like, I know Necropotence is just a little bit worse because you have to, it's like a delayed draw. But let's be serious, like, it doesn't matter very much. And if you can win at instant speed, like with Ad Nauseam, like, what do you care? It's not as powerful today as it used to be. Well, why not? Why was it not a problem? Why is it not a problem today? Necro, you have to wait until the end step. Oh, no! Oh, goodness golly. Just I have to wait till... Oh, what a price I have to pay so I can draw an extra, basically 39 cards. And besides, that's actually... beginning of your next end step? Oh, yeah, it's at the beginning of the end step, so you still have to discard to hand size. Okay, so you can't go completely nuts. You can still draw 39 cards if you want. Drawing cards is as powerful as always. If there's something Yu-Gi-Oh got right, they understood card draw is busted. And in Magic the Gathering, it's just like, let's have all the card draw we want. Anyway, all right. So King Ginger don't like Yawgmoth's bargain. Okay, we have a pretty good one here with Lurrus and Pioneer was nonsense. It didn't see half the play it did in Modern, and even then, Lurrus didn't see a ton of play in Modern. They're just being safe with these companions. I have to admit, you know, bringing stuff back from your graveyard over and over again is very, very frustrating. Not to mention, this is still like a clear extra card in your deck. So it's a companion. All the cards in your, all the permanents in your deck have to have converted mana cost 2 or less. It has lifelink, and during each of your turns, you can cast one permanent card from your graveyard with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. You know what? The way I've played Pioneer lately, it doesn't seem like Lurrus would be good. But maybe I'm wrong. Because like it's like a super big, like powerful format when it comes to things like, you know, Grease Fang will just not care about Lurrus decks. I don't think the mono green Devotion decks care about Lurrus decks. They'll just steamroll everyone. Maybe you could adjust the Rakdos type decks to be a Lurrus deck, but then you would just get rid of, you would like lose out on like Shield Dread and Liliana the Veil and a lot of really good cards for that match. I don't know. It's not clear to me that Lurrus would take over that format, so maybe it was an awkward banning over there. Not banning all the companions was bull. They should just take it all out. And then there's people like Egoish is like, no, we don't have any companions. Get them all. Get rid of them all. End them. Lurrus ban was justified. It just took eternally too long. What, in Pioneer? I like the banning in Modern. I think the Modern decks are insanely good, and you can live without Lurrus. The gameplay... Here's my argument against Lurrus. The gameplay sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. You get to the late game, and there is no late game because they put Lurrus in their hand. They just shoo out these creatures over and over again. And in Modern, there's a lot of room to get to the late game. Whereas in Pioneer, I don't know if there's as much room to get to the late game. It is Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a different story. Both formats are Yu-Gi-Oh! Unbanned Soul Ring in every format. Companions are unfair. That's why I always jam companions. There was a comment about Yorion. So what, you don't like Yorion in... So Yorion is still legal in Pioneer, interestingly enough. Like, completely legal in Pioneer, banned in Modern. This is a weird card in that it saw really play in only one deck, like the Elementals deck in Modern. And that Elementals deck still exists, but I'll have to admit, after they banned Yorion, a lot less people play the Elementals deck, even though I think they're very wrong for it. Someone just put out some stats on Twitter the other day that Elementals is like the highest win rate deck in Modern, even though it sees almost no play. So like, Elementals was like above and beyond the best deck in Modern with Yorion. They banned Yorion, and then all of a sudden people stopped playing the deck, and for no reason. They could just replace it with Kahir if they really wanted to. Alright, we're going to hear your hot takes of banned cards in all formats, but we got to thank our sponsors first, FusionGamingOnline.com. You always want to check in on the deal of the week every week because it changes, and you want to be there at the forefront of that deal. The deal of the week this week is save 15% off all Tempest block singles. You're seeing reserve list cards here. You see your Mox Diamonds, your Humiliates, your Back to Basics, your, was it the Volrath Stronghold? I think that's what this card is. Add one colorless mana to your mana pool. Return target creature card, I think, from your graveyard to your hand. And if 15% off isn't enough for you, you know what you can do. And support the channel by using coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get an additional 5% off. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. And by the way, speaking of banned cards, this is the ban list saver. You don't care about cards getting banned because they don't ban your cards, they ban Mana Traders cards. Mana Traders not happy about that either, but they like your service. And you can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_P9 to the S. That's right, you heard that right. Nikachu_P9 to the S. For 10% off your first 2 months. Most popular coupon code I've ever had in my life. Alright, now we get back to the stuff. Get back to Yorian. We got a super chat from the Blue Bomber. Did we get Golos tireless pilgrim ban from Commander? It didn't change much. People just play other 5-color good stuff commanders. I can't speak for this card. Was that a good ban? Was it even a good card to make in the first place? You know what sort of sucks about this card? It's a tutor. So like you can replace this with other, you know, colorless commanders that are, you know, have these 5-color Wooburg abilities, but it's not a tutor for like the best land in your deck. A lot of people very disappointed about this card though. Let people play with their colorless commander. You just downgraded it. What do you guys think? Let's maybe have a vote if Golos was an appropriate ban. Do we like how much do we like voting here? Let's get the voting going on. And what, before we get there, Golos is the 5-color commander. How many other 5-colored commanders are there, though? Or was this I don't think this is the only one. I think there are other 5-color commanders. Not super deep into the commander card pool, which encompasses every single card in the history of the game. Morpheon? We can play with Morpheon? Well, that's not an artifact, though. I mean, yeah, you could go down that route. You can play the Morpheon. Or, sorry, Morophon. The Boundless. Little bounded by a little something. Nikachu, come play competitive Historic Brawl. Covert, go blue, just switched over. I play enough formats. Can't play. I can't stand to play anymore. All right, what do we got? We got let's get to the controller. I want my controls. We need the answer. Was Golos, whoops. Start a poll. Golos, justified ban or not? Ban! No! Okay, that's good enough. Maybe we'll get back here. Whoops. Where's our Golos? Give us all your opinions about Golos. This is a Golos stream now. At the time, sure, but I think it's okay now. How would anything have changed at this point, though? Would anything have really changed? I don't think anything would have changed with this card. Golos was too good. You can repeatedly cast it from the command zone because the tutored land card usually pays for the commander tax. Ah, that's true. So you go get your land card, because it does say when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield, and you're going to go find something that can help pay for that commander tax each and every single time. So Golos don't get taxed. It's cheating on taxes. You hear that? Don't be cheating on taxes too hard, Golos. The Orzhov government gonna come after you. They want their taxes. Broken as a commander. Oh, so you guys want to bring back Banned as commander? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Hey, Chatter, Nikachu, is 100 cards too many for a legacy deck? Yes. Correct. Unless you want to play if you so badly want to just port your commander deck to legacy, you go for it. No one's gonna complain. The artifact, they'll welcome you with open arms. All right, oh, it's pretty split. It's pretty split. But at the end of the day, people do not want that card getting banned. All right. I guess I can just leave this over here, just in case we have another one. All right, we got another super chat. We got Howard. Howard, welcome. Panoptic mirror being banned in EDH is real nonsense. Uh-oh, am I frozen here? Here we go. Panoptic mirror. Why is this banned anyway? I can't remember. This is like you can like copy, I think, the time warps. Is that the deal? Is that what we can do with this card? Keep this banned? Here. Keep this banned. Panoptic, yeah, I think it was Panoptic Mirror plus Time Warp. It's like a feels bad card, but like, if you pull this off, I mean, I think you deserve the victory. There's like a million, isn't there not a million other turn 2 wins, like 2-card win conditions you can do? This thing costs 5 mana. It costs 5 mana up front. You pay X, tap, you may remove an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game. Oh, wait a minute. It's hard to, you can't interact with this card. You just get this thing to resolve, and then that's it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may copy an imprinted instant or sorcery card and play the copy. But then they get a whole turn to deal with this. At the beginning of your upkeep, you can only do this. Yeah, it costs a total of 10 mana. So you just say, like, he's got Panoptic Mirror on the battlefield. Go get it. Go get that damn thing. They could have Time Warp in their hand. So I see the problem with this card. No one can interact with it very well. What is this card banned? It's banned in Commander. Here, I can, like, pull it over. You can see where it's banned. You have to blow it up, or else it goes infinite at the beginning of your upkeep. So they actually, you might be around for 2 turns, because once it reaches your turn, you can't, like, your beginning of upkeep will be over. So essentially, you need 5 mana to cast this thing. An additional 5 mana to put the Time Warp on it. And then that's it. Yeah, just destroy it. Well, easier said than done. It feels like in Commander, you people don't want to play with removal. People don't want to play with removal. Okay, keep this banned. A lot of people want to keep it banned. A huge... That's pretty heavy, though. That's pretty heavy. You got, like... You literally have almost half the people that say, no, this should be unbanned. To be honest... The Commander ban list is really weird. I mean, it's just bizarre. It's just, there's no rhyme or reason to any of this stuff. The format is so insanely powerful. We got the bruh moment here. Hey, Nikachu, I got the cough of 2022 for the first time. I only had coughing and no taste for 4 days. Man, you got it easy. I heard people who didn't have any taste for 8 months and hoping to taste by tomorrow. All right. Good luck on your tasting. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing, to lose your taste. Everything gonna taste like styrofoam. Yeah, democracy. Commanders shouldn't have a ban list in the first place. Well, I don't know about that. I've seen some no ban list commander where there's a constant stream of turn 1 wins, so you gotta have at least a little bit of something. Okay, so what? Okay, well, let's get to some other cards. I didn't ask you anything, Siri. Okay, Braids, Cabal, Minion, bring back Band in Commander. Braids, Cabal, Minion. So you guys want to bring back how many people... Oh, actually, that's a good question. How many people want Band in Commander back? There's a lot of cards that, like, they don't need to be here. They can be, they're broken as a commander, but if they're not a commander, then they're not easily abused. Start poll. Bring back Band as commander. People are gonna love it. Okay, Braids, Cabal, Minion, bring Band in Commander. No bandless commander, then play so everyone likes the idea of no bandless commander, and then someone plays Shahrazad. We got a free. How many Braids Cabal minions? Braids Cabal minion fans are there? I think Bandless Commander is cool, but I understand not wanting it for confusion. Well, frankly, I don't think it's that confusing. Like, it's just like having a restricted list. The thing is, Magic the Gathering is so complicated that when we add just one little more dimension of complication, like, I don't find that as, like, an argument against, you know, ideas. I don't find that, like, for example, if adding complication to the game was such a big deal, then why do they keep bringing out new mechanics? Every single set, a new mechanic that makes the game more complicated, that makes the rules more complicated. Why was Braids banned? Well, it's good. Everyone's going to sack their stuff every turn. No one's going to have any permanence. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacks an artifact, creature, or land. That's insane. Slows the game down too much. Braids, Raphaelos, Erayo was the most the list ever had. I've been convinced. Free Braids. Look at, and everyone wants Banned for Commander to come back. It's popular. Turn 1 Braids with Jeweled Lotus is a beating. Dark Ritual Braids unfriend. Well, better than Dark Ritual into some sort of Doomsday Storm deck. Alright, what else do we got here? We've got name I cannot pronounce. Emrakul Ion's Torn. She's not even indestructible. You can kill her with 15 squirrels. Is Emrakul even a really big problem? Emrakul, the Ion's Torn. Seriously, is this card even a problem in Commander? I don't see 15 mana. And it's not like Channel is legal. I think Channel is banned. Emrakul fair? Go at it, people. LOL, says Markzilla. Oh, you guys want to free the blue-red otter? That card seems a bit unfair. You're a blue deck, hence you can play with... Oh no, you have to be an Izzet deck, right? You have to be at least an Izzet deck to play Lutri. People played Tron like decks and dropped her quite fast. I used to play that. I got hate. Well, you're gonna get... Well, and then you have to deal with the hate, right? What's so wrong with dealing with the hate? That's how this game works. You play your Emrakul, you wipe... You're not even going to kill someone. You're just going to wipe all their permanents. And then you got to deal with the other two people at the table. And they're going to massively gang up onto you immediately. And even if you cheated her out, then and they dealt with it, then you have to... Well, now you got to pay 17 mana to get it back out again. I mean, the unbanned world... Oh, where is this? I mean, the unbanned Worldfire, Emrakul is fine in the current state, I guess. It's interesting how polarized... most people are like... Seem to be like, these bans are stupid. It's like, in Modern, people are usually completely, like, super okay with the bans. Like, I think when a card gets banned in Modern, like, 80% of people are okay. And then there's this very noisy 20% that are not okay with it. And it looks like in Commander, most people are not happy with the banned cards. This cheated in your lay against me feels so bad. It is a feel bad card. I guess what it is if there's a feel bad card that gets too popular, the rules committee is like, okay, let's get rid of this. Get rid of it. It's a feel badder. We can't have feel badders in this format. EDH is like real life social media. Everyone's your friend until they're not. Yeah, this could be a very debatable fan. Okay, actually, no. You know, a lot of people, I think most of you are on board with this one. Emrakul fair? Oh, no, you're not on board. Is Emrakul fair? Yes, it's fair. All right. What are we going to go to next? We've got Daniel White with the... if add banned as commander, we should have banned in the 99 list because Emrakul or Grizzlebrand would be fine as commander, but too easy to cheat in. Oh, that's interesting. So there are some cards that you want banned in 99, but fine as commander. Now that ban list is getting complicated. Yeah, I heard. I think people said Grizzlebrand is a better card in your deck than as a commander. Because you just tutor it into your graveyard and then reanimate the damn thing. Okay, Liquid Soulfly with the artifact land. I'm on board with that one. Okay, what's one? Ancient Den. I don't care what anyone says. And I've been on this train for a very long time. That the artifact... So you people may not know this, But this land that is an artifact is banned in Modern. It's literally banned in Modern. I think it's the dumbest ban. It makes no sense. They could have unbanned these cards for the last 7 years, which changed nothing. And the fact that they banned Mox Opal after that makes this card even worse than before. Okay, let's get a poll here. So many of you are Commander players, so I don't know how much your opinion is going to matter here. Okay, let's start another poll. Unban artifact lands. Because the deal is, if you look at any traditional artifact deck now, it's loaded with artifact lands. There's tons of artifact lands. They don't produce colors necessarily, but they're loaded with artifact lands and utility lands like Urza Saga. I literally don't think this would do anything by today's standards. Were these banned just because of Mox Opal? They were banned because of Affinity. There is an Affinity deck. You know, there's a deck called Affinity where they have things like cranial plating, for example. Cranial plating. And cranial plating will get +1/+0 for each artifact you control. But the deal is, and it is a big deal, that there are already a bunch of artifact lands. Like you've got, what's it called? Well, I'm blanking here. Where's like an 8 cast deck? Look, a lot of people are on board with me. You're just, you're just appeasing me. I don't care what you say. Maybe we all are somewhat. I am crazy. Oh, Daniel White, thanks so much for this becoming a member of the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Karn the Great Creator just wrecks artifact lands. Yeah, and also we have answers like Karn the Great Creator, which would just completely destroy them all. Karn the Great Creator. So, I mean, we have, like, answers already in the format to destroy your stupid artifact lands, even if you want to play to artifact lands. Wizards too afraid of unbanning anything, like, even when the obvious card is going to do nothing. They're also weak to land destruction. Things like Vandal Blast hits them, too. Oh, my. They can get wiped off the face of the earth. Or Farewell also exiles them. Collector Oof. Yeah, Collector Oof. They're more vulnerable than ever before. But what are there's a bunch of artifact lands right now. Anyway, I always figure that the artifact lands were a terrible ban. They were pointless. They were not I thought they were going to be more of a liability than anything, because even the artifact decks want to utilize utility lands like Urza Saga. Urza Saga. They want, whoops, Urza Saga, then things like Yawgmoth, Nexus. They're always going to be playing these cards, so they can't just load the deck up with only those artifact lands. Impossible. They have to add. They also have to include these. So we got to unban the artifact lands. All right. Do we have any other super chats that I missed? I did not. All right. What next? Pot of Greed. Oh yeah, Treasure Vault. Treasure Vault is one of those. And they don't even play the full 4. Like we do have access to our. Oh yeah, and then there was the Modern Horizons coming to play tap indestructible dual lands that are artifact lands. But some would say, oh, it comes into play tapped. No big deal. Flo Nito with the Deathrite show. Are you nuts? Who knows? Maybe Deathrite is fine. The thing is, like, when a Deathrite deck gets too good, it gets really, really good. I mean, the decks are functional. Like, there is still a metagame. It's banned now everywhere. Well, okay, maybe not everywhere. It's not banned in Pioneer because they don't have fetch lands. Fetch lands are us. It's insane graveyard hate. Who wants to unban this card? It was... I don't know. I can't remember of how hotly debated this card was. It's like we saw it coming. We all saw it coming. Oh, they're going to ban Deathrite Shaman. Oh, they're going to ban Deathrite Shaman. And then they banned Deathrite Shaman, and then it was over. Was Deathrite Shaman a justified ban? So we got Deathrite is stupid, but I also wish it was legal in Legacy again. We all wish Deathrite Shaman is legal until we realize... It's like Deathrite Shaman is like, what is it? The snakes that eat the rats? And then you got a snake problem. And then you need to get like the mongoose to eat the snakes. It's So you get, it will solve the answers to your problems, but then it becomes a problem by itself. Deathrite Shaman ban, Lapse and Ragavan. Yeah, I totally get it. Free Monkey, Spirit, and Faith. Oh, you're just nuts. This was fun playing with it when it first came out in my elf deck. This is a fun card. I will admit, I play with, this is a fun card. This is very interactive. It's mana ramp. It's really calculating. You think, okay, do I need to gain some life here? Do I drain my opponent? It's a way of winning the game. This is fun to play with. It's definitely fun to play with. But you always feel like when you're up against it, like you have a chance. I've got a chance to win with my Deathrite Shaman. Or sorry, I have a chance to win against the Deathrite Shaman deck. And then the Deathrite Shaman just gains 2 life. Then he gains another 2 life. Getting out of range, kills your stuff, and then all of a sudden it goes on the attack. It does the reverse. Deathrite Shaman is legal in Pioneer because no fetches. Yeah, you can totally fine. Can't get those lands in the graveyard so easily. Or I don't know, maybe people aren't just trying hard enough. I mean, they do got with the Fabled Passage. Deathrite Shaman is a cool card, but every deck plays it, becomes so boring. That's true. Any green deck, any black deck. One way or another. In what format? Uro? Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. It's banned everywhere. What a disgusting card. This card, yeah, there was some controversy on this. Okay, so justified ban, a lot of people are happy with the ban. How about Uro? Uro any format, as far as I'm concerned. Uro. Was Uro justified? Banned. Grammar no good, but whatever, you get it. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath was way too much card advantage, but at the same time, it created a lot of variety for control decks. A ton of variety. There was a lot of different types of Uro decks out there. So, and it wasn't invincible. Like, the card is, when it enters the battlefield, you gotta sack it, then it has to go to the graveyard, and then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life, draw a card, put a land onto the battlefield. That's all good and all that, but if you really wanted this thing on the battlefield, you had to escape it, so all you had to do was run Graveyard Hate. There's a lot of Graveyard Hate out there. Relic of Progenitus, what's it called? I want to name Graveyard Hate that exiles the graveyard and you draw a card, so you get value out of it. Nihil Spell Bomb. I mean, you could surgical extract it and then it's gone for forever. Howard says, I played Uro, and I think that Uro just felt too easy, to be honest. Uro plus Mystic Sanctuary was... the card was dangerous. Escape it or stifle it. Stifling would be amazing if we could... There's no good stifle card in Modern. Uro's sin was to be better than Modern Horizons. That's right. A lot of people complain about Modern Horizons cards, but we have Modern Horizons right here at home in Standard. Every Standard deck is Modern Horizons now, basically. Uro died for Oko. Oko died first. Oko was banned way before Uro. I wouldn't say Tormod's Crypt is the best because it's like you don't gain any cards out of it. Pedgman says, I used to have Hushbringer. Uro deck was quite funny. You don't get the ETB. But yeah, but you had on the attacks. It was Standard Arena deck. Oh my god. The Hushbringer is like ETBs do nothing. So like you don't have to sack your Uro for 3 mana. Go turn 2 Hushbringer, turn 3 Uro, and then start attacking with your 6/6 by turn 4. Yeah, Graphic Digger's Cage did work. Deathrite Shaman could have kept Uro in check. It is true. That would have worked. Was Uro a justified ban? No. I mean, yes. Most people say yes. Some people say no. Yeah, Oko is definitely justified, at least for the only lens of Magic I see in which is Commander. I'm sorry for those. Yeah, I don't know anyone who is defending Oko. Oko was just absolutely awful. Awful to play against. Always. It was never fair anywhere. I guess except for Commander. And maybe Cube. Okay, what else do you guys are angry about? What banned card are you angry about here? Blazing Shoal? Probably you can unban this card. It's just the problem with Blazing Shoal is it's only there for turn 2 wins. So the idea is you like get an infect creature out and then you like pitch Progenitus to this thing to give that infect creature +10/+0. So that's the only problem with this. Abzo upset about Hullbreacher. Was Hullbreacher such a bad card in Commander? Commander, it's banned. Alright. We're gonna talk about Hullbreacher now. I know a lot of people are upset about this. Should Hullbreacher have been banned? Oh, Lord Magicus saying Splinter Twin should not be banned on the unbanned territory of that card. Okay, so Hullbreacher is like the ultimate card to abuse cards like Wheel of Fortune, Time Twister, anything that draws cards for everybody, and just ruins everybody because if an opponent would draw a card except the first one that they draw in each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token. So you play Wheel of Fortune, and they get nothing, and you get treasure tokens, and you get 7 cards. And oh, by the way, if you played Wheel of Fortune, they discarded their entire hand. Beanpot is like, free Hullbreacher. If Hullbreacher didn't say instead. I liked Hullbreacher, but it is insane. Should Hullbreacher have been banned? Yes. Okay, most people are... It's so interesting how close these are. Like, there's always, like, this percentage of people that are like, 40% is high. So it's obviously not unanimous. Sounds like a lot of not enough Hullbreacher players out there. Or no. The no side must be all blue players. Raznab is like, as someone who played Leovold before it was banned, I may have some bias. Notion Thief is best, but Hullbreacher was too expensive, so they got the axe. Oh my god, I am passionate about this one, Coulter. I actually agree. Library of Alexandria. Well, I don't know why this is banned in Commander. Okay, assuming you could all proxy, I think a lot of people don't like this card because it's expensive. If you could afford it, should library be legal in Commander? I think most people have hate on library because it's just expensive. You know, it's hundreds of dollars now. It's like over $1,000 now. Or it's like, I have one of these, I want to play it. But I think library is a very fair card in Commander. Like, in a format with so much card draw, what is wrong with this thing? How do you even abuse it? Like, yeah, zero mana draw every single turn. Well, not every single turn. Like, if you want to empty your hand of your mana rocks, you want to play your turn 1 Soul Ring, then you're not gonna get use out of your Library of Alexandria. Impossible. I guess you could go Mana Crypt, play... No, okay, so you have to go Library. Okay, so you go... Okay, there is a path if you have enough broken rocks in your hand. You go turn 1 Library, tap it, draw a card, play your Mana Crypt, tap that, play Soul Ring, go. And something like that. I think this is one of the dumbest bans in Commander that hurts nobody, really. It's just like, it's a price ban. Which is also stupid, because there's all sorts of cards now that are just staples to the Commander format, like Time Twister. And they're banned. And they're legal. There's a lot of broken reserve list cards I think are worse than Library. Yeah, my deck is a level 7, no artifact, mana, turn 1 Library, go, pass. Is that really so dangerous too? Library, pass, draw a card. You have to do this every single time. Ooh, that's a... You know what? Maybe as a blue player, I'm biased and I want to see the Tolarian Academy. Okay, so we all agree, Library of Alexandria, one of the worst banned cards. How about Tolarian Academy? In a world... Tolarian Academy. In a world where Guy's Cradle is legal, Now, there are some strategic reasons why this is more ban-worthy than, way more ban-worthy than Gaia's Cradle, but is Tolarian Academy worth the ban? Because it's a lot easier to get artifacts out than creatures, right? But at the same time, you know, creature-based decks, if you build around them, will get a bunch of creatures and act like artifacts anyway. So some people are like, hey, if we're banning Academy, we should ban the Cradle. Definitely not, please. No, LOL, Cradle is bad enough. So some of us are on the side that, so it's like, is the unbanned Cradle, or is Cradle as a card too strong then? Unbanned Coalition, that's actually an interesting one. We should look at that one. Okay, is Tolarian Academy worth the ban? It seems like this is an easy yes. Some people are no. I shout out to you, you blue fam, you blue players out there. Okay, let's look at Guy's Cradle. This one, now this one's gonna be a this is gonna be a tough one for people to answer because of I think a lot of people should Gaia's Cradle be banned because Tolarian Academy is banned. This is a hard one to answer because I'm sure some of you people, you've got the Cradles out there. It's always hard. It's easier to say something should be banned when it's banned, but it's so much harder to say something should be banned when it's legal. Okay, it looks like there's a lot of people who do not own, or not enough people own Gaia's Cradle. We have the Cradle on a creature, it's fine. I'd be down to ban the Gaia's Cradle. Is there any decks particularly that break a Gaia's Cradle by any chance? All the ramp mana needs to be banned? You do less stuff with green than with blue as well, to be honest. Same with Sarah Sanctum. Blue mana is just stronger. Blue mana is the strong mana. Green is my favorite color, so it's tough to say, but yeah, green also has enough strong ramp. Goodbye, Cradle. It's interesting, that's just the staple of the format. Only elves break a Gaia's Cradle, so it's fair. I imagine there's gotta be something else that breaks Gaia's Cradle. Michael is like, it's history and it's power. One thing I think, like, I do like Commander that it's got a lot of powerful cards. Like, I mean, I think there is some charm to that. Although I'm the type of person that would also say, as a competitive player that plays, I play multiple formats between Pauper, Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, that we should also, that cards, if you want a lower powered format, you can divide the format based on ban list and card pool. But that being said, I think there is some charm that there is maybe at least a vintage format. It's cool that we get to play with Sol Ring. I think it's responsible for a lot of banned cards on their ban list, but I think it is still cool that you get to play with Sol Ring. Is Winter Orb banned? What the hell bans Winter Orb? No, Winter Orb is not banned anywhere. Okay, what else should be... What else is a terrible ban in just Magic the Gathering, period? What's our next card? We evaluate. Generic's like, I like that Commander has powerful cards too. We like the powerful cards. It's part of the charm of Commander. I have Ugin in mod. Are you nuts? That's definitely worth being banned. You were not around for the, were you not there for Eldrazi Winter? Memory lapse. Oh yeah. Why is this banned? It's banned in Historic. I don't get it. Like, they banned Counterspell in Historic. What, Memory lapse is too strong either? That is nonsense. And sure, yeah, the card goes back on top of its owner's library. Whatever, they get to play it again next turn. Now, I will admit, Memory lapse is a lot better than people think. But I still don't think it's, like, worth being banned in Historic. That seems a bit silly. Is blue, like, way too good? Dan Wilk with the... Oh, is Mind Twist still banned in Legacy? Believe it. Okay, get this, people. Get this. Get this. This card is banned in Legacy. A black and X. Target player discards X cards at random. At random. And how the hell do you even pay for this? Some people theorize, well, you go dark ritual into mind twist for 5. Sorry, is it for 5? Dark ritual, 3 mana. Dark ritual, you got 5 mana. You got to pay a black. You're only doing this for 4. So you spent 3 cards to discard 4 cards from your opponent's hand. Complete crap. Absolute crap. This is one of the dumbest banned cards, I think, in the history of Magic the Gathering. Easily. Has no reason to be banned. It's a terrible top deck in the late game. Just insanely stupid. On reflection of memory lapse, arena players like to complain about Counterspell Tribal. That's a good question. How do people like counterspells getting countered? How do you feel about counterspells? I'm gonna start a poll. How do you feel about counterspell decks? Hate them. Don't mind them. Personally, as someone who plays Merfolk, I don't mind them at all because they get completely destroyed by my Cavern of Souls and my Ether Vial. And also, I like playing counterspell decks, so I don't care. I'm on the counterspell side. I'm biased towards this. I'm like, I have all the counterspells in the format possible. No big deal. I don't mind counterspell as long as they don't counter my stuff. We can have all the counterspells, just don't counter my stuff. No one likes to be countered, even the control players. In EDH, hate them. 5, land, Mox Jet, Ritual, Mind Twist. Oh, that's no problem. No big deal. With counterspells, it's called playing around them. Yes, so like you can undermine counterspells by playing at flash speed, for example. Or if your opponent is holding... Let's say you can get underneath them. You get underneath them with a few spells at first. And then once your opponents start holding up mana, you go attack, attack, attack. Okay, so I mean, as a person who plays with counterspells, let me tell you how you beat them. First, you can play cards that are uncounterable. You can play more stuff at flash speed, or preserve your flash speed cards when you think your opponent has counterspells in hand. Yeah, you try to play as many things on the earlier turns as possible, and then force your opponent to tap out to deal with it. And then once they tap out, that's when you can play things at sorcery speed again. So I think there's a lot of reasonable ways to beat counterspells like memory lapse. Okay, I think we are in agreement. We don't mind them. Don't mind them for too much. It's interesting how we can't get any poll to be like 90%. Yeah, why are we calling for Tinker to be unbanned? This is insane. Glimpse of Nature by Dem. Oops. The Glimpse of Nature. I don't know about this one. Okay, maybe it's fine. So the problem with Glimpse of Nature is it has no good purpose except to give elves a turn 2 kill. So that's the problem with Glimpse of Nature. Give elves. So how do we feel about giving elves turn 2 kills? How do we feel about that? Because essentially that's what you're asking for. Is it okay to give the go-ahead? And by the way, it might not even be just elves. Some people brought up to me that Glimpse of Nature could be used to fuel affinity decks. So artifact decks, they just go Glimpse of Nature, then they start spewing out creatures like Mebknight, Ornithopter. Then they get what's it called? Mirror Enforcer and stuff like that. So you could actually go from buffing up the elves players to buffing up the affinity players. And who knows who will play that? Who wore it better? Affinity or the elves players? I don't think Cheerios can use this because Cheerios doesn't play with that many creatures. Or any creatures. Oh no, hold on. No, Cheerios. I know Cheerios does play with some creatures, but not many. That's not the soul of the deck. Golgari, Grave Troll. Give elves turn 2 kills? Alright, we don't want to give them turn 2 kills. Golgari, Grave Troll. There's some debate here, I think. Golgari, Grave Troll. Like, instinctually, so it's like restricted in Vintage, and it's banned in Modern, because it's the best Dredge card ever printed, because it goes Dredge 6, right? was... I think this is more like, what should we unban here? Was it just... It did curve it at the time. So, like, there was 2 big decks at the time that they banned Golgari Grave Troll. There was Affinity and there was Dredge. And you have to weaken one of them. And they said, F it. They honestly said F it to the Dredge deck. Even though Mox Opal, I think, was the biggest problem for the Affinity deck. That was probably a really good opportunity for banning Mox Opal. Should the Troll have been banned? They could have went with Mox Opal at the time. They really could have. And leave Golgari Grave Troll. Because honestly, at this point, I don't know. It's like Dredge has all the tools anyway. It's just a matter of, like, is Dredge going to win? Do you have Graveyard Hate or not? You got it? All right, I'm screwed. You don't? Okay, well, then you're screwed. It's basically, this is how it is. What is Dredge again? Dredge is when, instead of drawing a card for your turn, you're going to put that many cards into your graveyard. So Dredge 6. So you go to your turn, and you draw. Instead of drawing a card, it's a replacement effect. So instead of drawing a card, I'm going to put this card into my hand, and then put 6 cards from the top of my library into the graveyard, fueling the graveyard for big shenanigans. So you put cards like Prized Amalgam into your graveyard. You can put Bloodghast. You can put Gravecrawler. You also put things like Creeping Chill, which whenever it hits the graveyard from your library, it deals 3 damage to your opponents and you gain 3 life. So, really big. Unban Faithless, Looting, and Modern. It's because of Dredge that thing is banned. Dredge is a mechanic that can quickly be broke. Oh, big time. I think you go like turn 1 in Vintage. Hilarious. This is restricted in Vintage. You can only have 1. You can only have 1. All right. So, should the Troll have been banned? A lot of people are happy with it. But again, a giant chunk of people say no. You could really make the argument that this was not the biggest problem of the format. I mean, Dredge worked plenty fine after they banned this card. Plenty fine. Maybe not as degenerate, but it's still pretty degenerate. But Affinity got free reign in the moment. Okay, I saw a really cool one, Erayo. So I don't know who to give credit to. I just saw it in the corner of my eye. This card. How do we feel about this card being banned in Commander? It's Commander ban, right? Pretty sure this is Commander. Yep, this is banned in Commander. Should Erayo have been banned? This is I mean, you can easily enable this to flip the thing. So the problem is not... Oh, no, yeah, the problem is not the front side. It's the other side. Or is it going to flip around? Oh, that's cute. I like that. So the front side is whenever the 4th spell of a turn is played, flip Erayo Suratami Ascendant. Or is this one of those situations where it should have been banned as Commander? And we could have unbanned it. And then after that, the first spell... counter the first spell played by each opponent each turn. Where would this see play today, if it would see play at all? Do you think Stacks would play this thing? Approaching Calamity is like, just honestly, I'm just voting for unban every time. Approaching Calamity is a purist. Erayo flip on turn 2 plus Rule of Law equals have fun. Oh, so it just instantly combos. You get 1 spell a turn, and it's always going to get countered. It was banned as Commander and then banned when they removed that rule. Damn it! So Erayo basically got banned because they banned in Commander. But if they didn't banned in for Commander, then we didn't have to ban Erayo. Erayo plus Arcane Lab. I like that combo. Well, okay, so like the deal is, who cares? Okay, like, let's say you pull off the 2-card combo. Do we not have 2-card combos that win anyway? And by the way, it's not technically completely winning, because what if you're able to get through, what if your creature is uncounterable, you know? So something like, you know, Emrakul's not legal, but something like Emrakul is uncounterable. So you just have to work your way up. If I'm playing my Merfolk deck with my Cavernous Souls, I don't care about Erayo's Essence. I can play 1 card a turn anyway. Maybe I got my Ether Vial underneath this Erayo. I mean, it's a feel bad card for sure, but like 2-card, like, you know, it's a, is it worse that it's like a 2-card prison lock or whatever? Just like the Jace emblem plus rule of law. Rail plus rule of law. Because you have to work, because instead of it being a 2-card combo, you have to work to get Erayo, Soratami, Ascendant online, and then you have to get the rule of law in play. Valerio is saying, the biggest mistake in MTG was limiting Black Vise in the early days with Necropotence around. They curved a staple card, but in exchange of a tier 0 where everyone played black. I don't know, I can't relate. I wasn't there. I wasn't there at the time. You're the historian here, Sana. Do a poll if Bandit's commander should come back. We did! And everyone says it should come back. Yeah, we did a poll. All it takes is 2 cheap spells and the 2nd enchantment destruction. Ah, true. Alright, this one is... Should Erayo have been banned? Most people say no! So this could be easily one of the worst banned cards in Magic the Gathering. I think it's cute! I think it's cute. I've got... I don't know if I would play this card. Probably. Can I squeeze this in my Merfolk deck? Would that make any sense? Probably not, but I would do it anyway. Very joke to unban Splinter. Do you know what we didn't do unban Splinter Twin? This is the most controversial. We didn't look at Splinter Twin yet. Some people are waiting this entire show for Splinter Twin. Should Splinter Twin have been banned? That's what the whole world wants to know. Because at the time, this is probably the most controversial ban in the history of Magic the Gathering. Should Splinter Twin have been banned? Because there's a lot of people who have thought immediately after they banned Splinter Twin, like there was the Eldrazi Winter and Hogak Summer, and we had a lot of oppressive metagames where Splinter Twin just looks like child's play. Maybe. Just looks like child's play. Unban Iona. Oh, we can't stop this show until we look at Iona. I think Iona makes no sense to me. If you're playing a monocolor deck, which I do, you should get punished. You go to Iona jail. Hogak, let me use it one more time. Well, just go play Commander. Go play it all you want. Yes, it should have been banned. Should it still be banned? Maybe not. Should Splinter Twin have been banned? Whoa, a lot of people are like, no, it shouldn't have been banned. That was an unjustified ban. I think at the time, I'm actually a little bit on your side, or I'm a lot on your side, Skid. I think at the time that Splinter Twin was a very, very, very justified ban. Splinter, I don't think people realize how high of a win rate the good Splinter Twin players were. People are always judging it as being fair because they're always up against bad Splinter Twin players. Like, sure, you beat the scrub at your local game store. That is not really a good justification for it being legal. I remember players trying to using Splinter Twin when I had Spell Scout on the board and they didn't get what happened. See, that's the thing. Like, when people play into that, we can't judge the power of Splinter Twin based on, you know, players like that. And they exist. Oh yeah, I outplayed my Splinter Twin player because they played a Splinter Twin when I had Spell Scout right on the board, which is the card that's exactly meant for that matchup. The stupid thing is I know, they reprinted Splinter Twin like within a month, I think, of banning it. So everyone thought, oh, it's safe. It's a safe card. They're not going to ban it. And then they banned it. All right, looks like Splinter Twin. A lot of people do not think it was fair. And I think a lot of people are making a really good argument that it should be unbanned by today. Although Aspiring Spike playtested and said it was still broken. So take it for what it's worth. Iona! I think this is a weird ban to me. I guess the problem and the only argument against this is, like, in Commander that it's supposed to be a fun format, you're supposed to enjoy yourself, blah, blah, blah. The problem with Iona is if you only own one deck, like I'm a Commander player, I only own one deck, and you bring that deck out every single week, and your friend just plays this, I mean, you do nothing. You do absolutely nothing, especially if it nails your color. Like, if everyone's playing blue, and I'm on mono blue, then they're always going to name blue, and then I do literally nothing. Although, you know, I could adapt my deck by playing more, like, artifact cards, or artifacts that could deal with Iona. Has anyone heard of, what's it called? I'm not going to use powder keg or ratchet bomb or anything like that. Oblivion stone. That's what I was thinking of. It's called the situation of player is color locked by her and no one will help them. They just have to sit. Then I gotta sit. You know what you do when you have an Iona player at the table? You bring something else with you to do. You bring your Nintendo Switch. You bring your phone. You start browsing Twitter. You wait until someone tells me it's my turn. That I can do something. They should have put if you cast it from your hand clause. Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. This seems like another card that maybe should have been banned as commander. Companions banned. Create new format. Thanks so much for the super chat, Eric. All right. Hope that was an entertaining show. We looked at the worst bans of Commander. Sorry, of all, just of Magic the Gathering, period. We also had some great debate on if they should have been unbanned or not. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for watching me today. I hope you had a lot of fun. If you want to be part of the show, got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks so much for your super chats and your discussion, but most importantly, thanks for all of you being here. I love it when you guys show up. You're the best part of my day, and besides, I've got no show without you. So as usual, keep brewing up those coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you the next cup.